deep, and German experts putting it at just 10. We start this hour in West Asia, where the Houthis in Yemen have claimed responsibility for an overnight ballistic missile attack on Israel, stating that the projectile targeted multiple sensitive targets in Tel Aviv and was equipped with a cluster bomb warhead. This comes as the Israel Defense Forces have confirmed that the missile was successfully intercepted by air defenses. However, according to reports, there has been no official comment from the IDF regarding the claim about the cluster bomb warhead. The Iran-backed Houthis have reportedly launched several missiles equipped with these cluster bomb warheads at Israel in recent weeks. No injuries or damage have been reported, however. The attack did trigger sirens in Tel Aviv and several towns and communities across central Israel. We're now joined by our guest, Yossi Kapawasa, and he is an Israeli intelligence and security expert, and he joins us live from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much, Yossi, for joining us on the program. Yossi, we of course report these missiles that get fired from Yemen's Houthis on a near daily basis. However, what is this cluster warhead that they are speaking about, and what are its capabilities?
Well, the cluster warhead can hit simultaneously several targets, and once it separates from the main missile, it is more difficult to intercept it because you have several cluster bombs flying in your direction simultaneously. So this is, of course, a new level of threat from Iran through the Houthis in Yemen. And we have to be prepared to deal with that too. The best way to do that is to hit the target, hit the missile before it separates the warheads. And that's probably what happened tonight. And because of that, it's difficult for the IDF to verify whether it was a cluster warhead or not. It's not known because it was probably hit before the bombs were separated.
The Houthis, of course, are an Iran-backed proxy, Yossi, that you've just mentioned. What are their military capabilities in a more general sense, and how much of a threat do they show to the state of Israel?
Well, they are a threat. They keep launching missiles at our direction. They keep preventing the shipping of Israeli products and Israeli vessels through the Bab el-Mandeb Straits. And this is definitely a threat for Israel. When such a missile is launched in our direction, millions of people in Israel go to the shelters, and they are very proud of the fact that they managed to force millions of people to go to the shelters in the middle of the night. It was 4 o'clock in the morning, a little bit earlier than that, 3:45. And that's not only a nuisance, it's also a threat because just a couple of days ago, they managed through a drone that they launched many drones simultaneously to the missiles. They managed through a drone to hit the terminal in one of our airports, civilian airport. And this is definitely a threat that we have to deal with. We try to hit the Houthis and charge them with a heavy price for what they're doing. Israeli airstrikes are happening quite often recently. In Yemen, we have to remember this is very far away from Israel, but nevertheless, we managed to reach them. And we hit all kinds of infrastructure that is used for military purposes and military targets in Yemen. So far, it's not enough in order to convince them to stop. And, Iran somehow manages to keep shipping them all kinds of weapons that they use against us. And it's an ongoing circle that is not yet being solved. It seems that we have to charge them with a heavier price because the price we've charged them so far is not enough in order to convince them to stop.
Yes, and Yossi, the Houthis often claim that when they fire these projectiles, it is in solidarity with Palestinians. Are these strikes merely symbolic?
In this context, they're totally symbolic. They don't change anything when it comes to the Palestinian-Israeli conflict and the war in Gaza. Nobody, not the Palestinians, neither Israel, is affected by what the Houthis do. And with all due respect to their claim of having an impact on the solidarity with the Palestinians and the way the war is being fought, this has nothing to do with the reality. The reality is that we have a problem with Hamas. and we want to see them disarmed and releasing the hostages. And they refuse to do that, of course, and so that's why the war goes on, and not because of the actions by Hamas, by the Houthis.
Yossi Kopawasa, thank you very much for speaking to us here on the program.